Beneath the fiery sunset of April 2025, for fateful stories came to a close in the cold confines of American prisons. Each man faced his final moments burdened by the weight of his crimes, with last words echoing in the air and final meals clinging to the fleeting warmth of life. Florida, April 8th. Michael Tanzi, the man who turned Janet Acosta's peaceful lunch break into a nightmare 25 years ago, now lay on the lethal injection table. He had driven her van through the sun-scorched roads of the Florida Keys, strangled her with a rope, and left her body hidden under dense foliage. Now, with pork chops and melting ice cream in his stomach, Tanzi whispered an apology to Janet's family, his faint voice mingling with a Bible verse. As the drugs coursed through his veins, his chest rose and fell for a few minutes, then sank into eternal stillness. South Carolina, 3 days later. Michael Dean Maddy, the killer who spread terror from North Carolina to South Carolina, chose to meet his end by bullets. He had gunned down Christopher Boggs over a can of beer and coldly murdered Sheriff James Myers, burning his body to erase the evidence. Before being strapped to the chair, Maddy savored a final steak and sipped sweet tea but uttered no words. When 3 shots rang out in unison, his piercing scream tore through the silence. His body convulsed, and his breaths lingered for 80 seconds before fading away. Texas, April 23rd. Moises Mendoza, the man who stole Rochelle Tollison's life, faced death in silence. He had choked Rochelle, set her body ablaze in a remote field, and left her 5-month-old daughter orphaned. Denied a choice of last meal, Mendoza could only gaze through the window, apologizing to Rochelle's family by name and whispering love to his wife in Spanish. As the lethal drugs took hold, he let out 10 snores, then slipped quietly from the world. Alabama, 1 day later. James Osgood, haunted by dark obsessions, entered the execution chamber with belated remorse. He had tortured Tracy Brown, stabbing her in a panic, and showered as if he could wash away his sins. Before his end, Osgood ate a simple pizza, then broke a decade-long silence by speaking Tracy's name, apologizing to her and signing "I love you" to his family. As the drugs stilled his breath, the room fell into a heavy, unspoken quiet. For men, for crimes, and for endings. April 2025 was not just a time for sentences to be carried out. It was a moment when old wounds were reopened, leaving lingering questions about justice, forgiveness, and the cost of sin.